This is what's called a brownfield site, which is soon to be built on. But let's have a look to see what was here previously.
Now this area is just off the A41, down by the old Candy building, down Old Hall Road. As you can see from this overhead view, it does look a bit barren. There's some kind of strange, very sandstony tracks put in, but we'll come to that later. Now this is a 1900s map of Bromborough without the A41 running through it. Now you can see that sheepcoat symbol near the top. Now that's very similar to the Spittal pinfold that we've seen in a previous video, but we'll come back to exactly where that sheepcoats is a bit later. But the other thing to note is the footpath, FP running straight through the area that we're looking at. This from 1940 just seems a little bit more barren than it actually is. Now we do have a new sponsor, but more on them later. Now it's only till we get to the maps in the 1970s, these two are from 73 and 74, where we see the biggest difference that's happened on this site. Now this is a Ministry of Defence fuel storage depot. Now this was here for many years, but eventually was of course demolished, but the building was kept at the side, but the fuel tanks were removed. Now you can see from this overhead aerial shot, you see the mounds. So these were actually underground fuel storage. Now on a different topic, there was fuel storage facilities all over the country and pipelines, hidden pipelines. You can actually go and look them up. It labelled the Ministry of Defence to transport fuel around the country wherever it needed it without underground, without having to transport it overground.
So all of these new houses are to be built here on top of an old fuel storage depot.
For years this site stored fuel for military operations. It was off limits, heavily secured and far from a natural landscape. It was never a greenfield site. Yet when the plans for the housing development appeared, debates often arise about whether we should be building here or elsewhere. Greenfield site by definition is land that has never been built on before, farmland, meadows or woodland. Brownfield sites on the other hand have already been altered by industry or infrastructure, making them a logical choice for new housing. So is this an example of good planning, reusing industrial land for housing rather than paving over natural habitats? In theory yes, but there are challenges. This site will soon be transformed, families will move in, a new community will take shape. The question is, does this represent smart urban planning, or is it just another development that raises more questions than answers? So let us know and everyone else know what you think. Should we always prioritise brownfield over greenfield, or is there more to consider? Let me know in the comments. So this is actually a projected drawing of what the housing estate will look like eventually.
So as you can see from the maps, there was a public footpath going straight through that field before the MOD site. But obviously that was completely decimated. And we're on the other side of the site now on the road leading to Port Sunlight Tennis Club, which is just straight ahead. But there is the remnants of that public footpath still here on the left. But another thing that future residents may have to put up with is the approach to Liverpool Airport goes straight overhead. So here you have Riverside Park office block, which is also getting ripped down. But with this new housing development, how much do you think people are going to be paying for their energy and electric costs? Well, I'm not really concerned about that just yet, but I am concerned about you paying too much for yours. So with our sponsor Utilities Warehouse, you can get £100 off your next bill, and by putting you in control of how much you spend in the future by giving you a prepaid cashback card. Now to find out more, there's a link in the description of this video to complete a short form where you get in touch with Jamie, who's also on the Wirral. Now saying that, just further down that road there is another public footpath which goes down in between the office blocks. Now will these be maintained, allowing access to people after the houses are built? Time will tell. Now this current bit of wasteland, Brownfield site, Greenfield site, whatever you call it, is often frequented by motorbikes. Looks like that they gain access through this broken fence here onto the field. Now this is the gate that's been used by some of the construction work. They've gone through this gate, but they've just started doing part of the work. This is where tractors and JCBs have got through. They've put this hard ground down and they've been clearing out trees and stuff like that down the path just to the right. Not a sponsor, but it looks like they've come all the way over from Liverpool to secure this place.